Hey, folks, you're listening to the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast, and today we have a very special guest, somebody that I've seen on YouTube. He has his own channel. I enjoy watching him. The one and only Gman is here with us. Say hi, Gman.
How's everybody doing today?
Good, it's just me. It's pre-recorded, so anyway. But a lot of people don't that watch G-Man will see him go up against people. I've seen you debate a lot of people, and you have no fear of going up. I mean, I've seen you talk to Matt Dillahunty, and you have you don't get nervous, or if you're talking to somebody, you get. I don't see that from me where you get nervous. You're like, hey, this is what I have to say. I don't care who you are. This is what I'm going to say.
If I talk to somebody for the first time, I'm always nervous.
Right. Yeah, but you don't seem nervous. You seem very, hey, this is, that's a good thing. Trust me, that's a good thing. Because some people make me, like we were talking earlier on, some people just make you uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable, you're kind of, it would be like me talking to, I don't know, Sam Harris or somebody that I would just think I would never really, you know what I mean? Like where I just think, oh, they're gonna make me look weak, or they have the power. They could just go, I don't want to talk to you, and they just turn it off. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally understand what you mean. The first time I spoke to Matt Dillahunty, and I called the Atheist Experience, first of all, I was very nervous. I was just breathing a certain way. That's why I didn't sound like it. And
yeah, I heard
the topic.
that.
Yeah, the topic that we got into, I knew a little something about it. I know a lot about it now, and it went the way it went. You know what I mean? It was Matt Dillahunty I was talking to.
Right. And he's
I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, it was good though. I mean, you kind of it was good. I mean, whatever. I mean, you went at it, and then you actually did a good job talking to. You had a debate with. Who did you? It was Matt Slick. You had a debate with, and you actually did really well against him.
Matt Slick.
I think it was Matt Slick. It was another Christian person.
It might have been Matthew 4:19.
Maybe it was somebody. No, it was somebody. Either it was. No, have you ever talked to Matt Slick?
Yeah, I spoke to Matt Slick a couple of times on the Bible Thumping Weenut show. I had a disagreement with him about whether or not a person can lose their salvation, and I had to talk with him about that. But that wasn't a debate. That was just two people just disagreeing on a topic.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you talked to somebody, and it was pretty good though. It might have been J.D. Kane or.
It was J.D. Kane. I debated him.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. I mean, it was. I love watching those. I love watching debates. I don't like participating in them because I stink. For me, I just think, like, I don't know. I just like. Have you ever watched The Young Turks?
A couple of times, yes.
Okay, there's a guy named Cenk Uygur on it, and I watched him debate a guy by the name of Dinesh D'Souza, and Dinesh was nice and calm all the way through it, and I'm watching this, and Cenk was just mad, yelling, making stupid comments, ad hominems, constantly, and while you're watching this, you're sitting there going, it's entertaining. But at the end of the debate, I had to side with D'Souza. It was like he kept trying to go for. Cenk just kept trying to get the crowd into it to get on his side. And I just thought, if you're going to debate somebody, it shouldn't be. I think it looks better if you just stick to your point. And for me, I couldn't. I would just get too sidetracked. I would just be too. I'd want to make a point, and then I would always try and make another point. You know what I mean? Like I just know I'm a bad debater.
No, I understand what you mean because in my experience with debating, it's very hard to stay focused on what you're talking about. If you prepare a certain way for somebody and then they change up their game on you, and there are things that you feel like, especially if you're like a scientific-minded person where you got to focus like on a whole bunch of different details, it's very hard to just stay focused on the line that you're on. You know what I mean? Somebody might. You're talking about apples, and this person's talking about apples. Then you're talking about oranges, and this person's talking about oranges and pears.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And you just feel the need to talk about the pairs and the details of the pairs and how they taste, how they look, and all this. It can be a pain in the butt sometimes. It just depends on what goes on. It doesn't matter whether or not you're good on your feet when you're talking to someone that you disagree with
No,
or
well,
something.
I saw somebody, I don't know if they were playing with me, but somebody said that you wanted to be a professional wrestler. And then I asked you about that, and you said, no, I've never wanted to be a professional wrestler. But when that person told me, I think it was during a Google Hangout,
Hmm.
and they just said, no, he really wanted to be a professional wrestler. And I go, are you serious? And he goes, yeah. And I go, you'd be the perfect professional wrestler. If you, I'm not trying to, make you, I really mean this because I've watched the way you talk. If you had a big physique, like a strong guy, and I'm not saying you're not a strong guy, I just mean if you had like a huge wrestler physique, you've got the chops to just do these awesome promos, where I could just see you do these really cool, interesting promos that you could get people to either love you or hate you, you know? And I just
I
think,
gotta admit a couple of things to you. I did go to wrestling school. I got trained by a former WCW wrestler. I got hit in the head with a chair a few times. Decided it wasn't for me. They
right.
said the same things that you're saying, pretty much about how I talk. But what was I gonna say? But hold on. I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, you got hit in the
But
head with a chair.
yeah, I got hit in the head with a chair, and they were saying that I was a good talker and all that and whatnot. But I couldn't take the bumps. And you're right. I would need a really big physique. But I agree with you. Maybe if I was big enough and I could take a little bit more pain, maybe perhaps I could have handled
I
a
think
career
so. I'm not
wrestling.
saying that to make you feel like, I really do mean it. I think that if you were to ever go into wrestling, and if you got thicker, bigger, thicker, and the way you talk, you would, I think you'd make a killing. I really do. I think either people would either love you or absolutely despise you. And I think that makes the perfect wrestler.
Now,
Either,
now I remember what I wanted to say. I like being the bad guy on YouTube.
oh, yeah, that, to me, I think,
I love it.
well, I don't know. Sometimes I think, I don't know if you, either you play up to it, but sometimes I think you do make, uh, uh, either people have it or not. And I think you have it where people will sit there and say, well, I don't want to hear what he has to say, but yet they tune into you. And I think that's really cool. If people don't like, if you get them so mad, or they like you so much they don't want to they don't want to miss anything, right? So it's like,
Absolutely.
if just say you were to do a hangout tonight, and as soon as you were to pop up, 100 to 200 more people would go there just to see that,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? So I
To
just
either
think,
laugh at me or to be entertained or to learn something, they're gonna want to come and hear what I got to say. I
yeah.
totally
And
get that.
yeah, and I think a lot of people would love to have that. I mean, if you think about it, if you could do that, I don't care what you're saying. I watch wrestling, and I don't care what people think. I watch it because I enjoy. Well, I don't like the storylines lately, but I grew up watching it, and I always was enamored with, uh, the way they would talk. Like, I remember seeing my first bad guy. Well, my first guy that I really loved was Superstar Billy Graham, but it was just the way he talked, you know,
Mm.
and he just the way, as a kid, you'd sit there and you'd watch these guys, and they would say some of the most outrageous, funniest things, and you would just think, oh man, these guys, this is a riot. This is great. And that's what I think is missing these days.
It's about that charismatic, larger than life personality that I think that some people have when a person talks. You know what I mean? It just attracts the crowd, like Hulk Hogan. When I was growing up, and I used to listen to him go like, "What you're gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" He kept me, and he was the reason why I got into wrestling. It was the promos, it was the the people that knew how to build up a match. Today, they don't really know how to do it. Sometimes they try too hard. Sometimes you could tell that they're reading a script, but you
Yes,
can
I hate.
tell when
Yeah,
somebody's like really into what's going on. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that turns me off when I see somebody reading a script. I see, that's why I like old time wrestling, When you Hulk Hogan, you know where he got the brother from? Where he'd sit there and go, "Hey, brother."
Where you get that from?
He got it from Superstar Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham. Have you ever seen Superstar Billy Graham?
Oh yes, I have. That's a big
Okay.
dude.
He Superstar used to call everybody, "Hey, brother," and he was the guy that used to say, "What you gonna do with my 24-inch pythons?" He was the guy that said all that stuff. What happened to Superstar was he got sick, okay? And he got really, really sick. And instead of, he was supposed to be the original Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And what happened, he got sick and they had to push him aside and he became a very bitter and, upset man. And I totally understand why. Hulk Hogan took off. You remember when I was a kid, I remember Hulk Hogan was on the news every day. He was in movies. I remember seeing him in Gremlins. Okay?
Yeah, it's cartoon.
Even the cartoon. So you could imagine, and I always felt bad for Superstar because I always thought he should have been the Hulk Hogan. He should have been the charismatic guy. But you got to give it to Hogan. He took the ball. He ran with it. He became the Hulkster, and now he is. What happened? They kicked him out of the Hall of Fame.
The same thing happened with with Kurt Angle. You had a guy in the WWF at the time called the Patriot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Patriot had Kurt Angle's music. Well, he had the music before Kurt Angle had it, and he was supposed to be everyone's American hero, and he couldn't do the character correctly.
Right.
And he eventually got let go by the company. Then Kurt Angle came, took the very same gimmick without the mask, being an Olympic gold medalist American hero, and ran away with it.
Yeah.
It became huge because of it.
Yeah, but see, Angle had, what I liked about Kurt Angle was he had he had the mouth. You ever see his promos? He was great. He knew how to talk. Some guys just didn't know how to talk. Like if you look at Brock Lesnar, he's no good on a mic, right? But what they do is whenever a guy, what I notice is they'll always hook up a guy. You remember the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and the Anvil, right?
Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart. The South.
Yeah. So what they would do is Jimmy Hart and the Anvil used to always do the talking. Bret Hart was terrified to talk. Okay? So, and then it took him a while. Those guys carried Bret Hart. And it's, Brock Lesnar, Paulie Dangerously, is his manager. And Paulie does all the talking because Paulie, you hate Paulie, and he does that for a reason, right? He's the fat, bald, obnoxious jerk, and Brock just sits there and flexes, and that is beautiful to me. I get it. He's just not strong enough on a mic. Where Kurt Angle, has the chops to get on a microphone and just to either you love him or you hate him. But the point is, you won't forget him.
Exactly. That was some of the stuff Brock does.
Yeah, but Brock, yeah. So growing up, who was your favorite? Like, who was your favorite? This is gonna freak you out. I was watching this thing on most collectible, WWE or ECW or whatever. You know how much get for a collectible? Guess what is the most expensive collectible in wrestling out there that you could buy? And it was a figurine.
The Hulk Hogan, the Andre the Giant rubber doll?
Nope. It was Kamala.
Oh.
And Kamala, if you got him with a half moon, they only made 25, a half moon on his belly, it is worth over $10,000.
I can see why.
Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah. And so if anyone's out there and you've got a Kamala, check his belly. If he's got a half moon, you got $10,000. If he doesn't got him a half moon and he's got a star, he's only worth $5.
My favorite wrestler was Hulk Hogan when I was growing up. I caught an episode, I believe, of Superstars before the big Andre the Giant heel turn.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was hooked forever. Well, not forever, but I was hooked until like about this new PG mess started happening. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Hulk Hogan was my favorite. I would say during the new generation, my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels because I loved him on the mic.
I hated Shawn Michaels, but I do love him on the mic. I do love him on the microphone. I couldn't stand him. The whole boy toy thing, I couldn't take it. He'd come out there and ooh, and then he'd shake his butt.
I loved it.
I get his whole thing, but I love Bret Hart. So when he went
My
at it with
brother's a Bret Hart fan.
yeah, when he went at it with Bret Hart, I was totally going for Bret Hart. You know, I like for me, Bret was always the hitman. You know, he was just so cool, even though he didn't say anything. But he was like, you know, between him and Anvil, Anvil looked like a tank, and Bret moved like a Porsche, and I just love that in a team. Like, do you remember Legion of Doom?
Yes, LOD.
Yeah, you had two monsters in there, and I would just sit there and I'd watch it as a kid going, nobody could take these guys on. You know, like these guys are just, they're too big. You know, they just come in there, they're road warriors. They looked absolutely terrifying. That to me would keep me glued to the set, you know, and then you'd have a honky tonky man come out there and just make me laugh. Just him doing, you know, a ridiculous promo. Anyways, so Michaels was your guy.
Yeah, Honky Tonk Man. Just to do a quick word on him. Honky Tonk Man made that Intercontinental Championship important.
Yes.
If there was never a Honky Tonk Man, I don't think anybody could have did the job that he did. Because every time Honky Tonk went out there, he cheated.
Yes.
And he just survived another night.
Yes.
Survived another night. You know what I mean? People wanted to see him get his hair cut, and never happened. People wanted to see him get pinned, and never happened. People wanted to see him tap out, and it never happened. The guy always weaseled it out, and he made that belt important.
Yes.
So I respect Honky Tonk Man back then, but I couldn't stand the guy.
Oh, I loved him. Because he was so. See, when I was a kid, I'd go to the Gardens in Toronto and watch him, and I'd get the cheap seats, the ones way in the back. And what happened is whenever Honky Tonk Man, he knew how to work a crowd. Because if you ever watch Honky Tonk Man, what he would do, he would move his whole body. Like, just say he got up on the ropes, and he was scared to come into the ropes because Warrior, whoever was going to kill him. What he would do, he would rock his head right back. And he would do these elaborate movements so you could see him. And I understood when I was a kid what he was doing. He was playing to the crowd, to the people, you know, in the cheap seats could see him. And I always thought that was neat of him, you know, the way he would get on the floor and beg, and he would turn to the crowd, and it was like he was looking at you, you know, when he would turn and look and beg and just beg for mercy, or you knew what he was going to do. He was going to grab his guitar and smash the guy over the head, but you couldn't wait. You know, he was kind of, and that's psychologically, you knew that he was playing. Only a few guys knew how to do that, you know, and he holds the record to this day as the longest Intercontinental Champion.
And I don't see nobody breaking that record. That record is on.
No, that record. Standard. See, these days there's too many. What I don't like about wrestling is, see, the champion changes it seems like every other week, you know, and I don't like that. I want it. See, I loved it when it was a big deal when Hogan lost his title to Warrior. You know, it was like everybody was stunned. Everybody was like, oh, when's he going to lose? And it was the same thing with Honky Tonk Man. When he lost it to Warrior in something like, what was it, 8 seconds? Mm-hmm. Warrior just absolutely, like, annihilated it. And what I enjoy is the shoots. If you ever get a chance, watch the shoot interviews. And what those are the behind the scenes. And it will talk to Honky Tonk Man, and his real name's Wayne Ferris, and he will explain to you what happened in 1989. And it's really, really cool, because he'll say stuff like, you know, they wanted me to drop the belt. I didn't want to drop the belt. And then finally we came up with this deal, and, you know, I had to put a guy over. And if people don't understand what that means is, if I had to put you over, that means I would lose to you. And back then it was a big deal to lose. Right? So guys did not want to put a guy over unless I made a deal with you. If I said, gee, man, if I put you over, in 9 months from now, if we wrestle again, you're going to put me over.
Right.
And it was up to you, because you could totally lie. You could just sit there and say, yeah, dude, don't worry about it. And then 9 months later, I could sit there and go, you know, hey, you know, you got to do the favor for me. And you're like, no, I don't think so. If you don't want to work with me, that's what will happen. If you don't want to put me over, no one's going to, you know, it's bad for business, but it's totally up to you, right? So that's what I loved about it. And he totally, Honky Tonk Man said, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll lose so fast And it was like, I think it was 19 seconds or, it was just so fast. Warrior just picked him up, did the jackhammer, remember, up in the air, and just
Uh-huh.
put him through the ground, and it was done. And
Right.
I was just in shock. I was like, no, I didn't. I knew Warrior. Like, if you put the two guys together, Warrior looked like King Kong compared to the girl that King Kong was playing with, right?
Right.
I mean, Warrior was absolutely monstrous. So you knew
Right.
when he was going to get in that ring, he was going to like destroy him. So
Right.
anyway, so yeah. So growing up, I think that was something that what I noticed when I watch you is when you watch these guys, you see what they do and you incorporate it, and I think that's great. I think it kind of, and you don't even know that you're doing it, but I think it's like second nature to you.
Or you mean the
Just the way you talk. I think that like when I watch on a Google Hangout, it's interesting, and I notice when I think you do what wrestlers did, just movements, the way you talk, the way the way you are. I think that's just a
I
way.
try to entertain the audience because I know nobody wants to sit there and just hear facts all day long. We as human beings need to be entertained when we're listening to other people. I mean, we can keep it real. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get that. I mean, if you're not entertained, I mean, I've tried to watch a few hangouts, and they were talking about science or whatever, and it was
boring.
just it was incredibly boring. You're talking about a guy that, I mean, I just can't. I have to really be into the mood. You know, and when
You
they're
want to know who gets it? You want to know who really gets it about the entertainment value? Who
who
really understands it in my community? JD Kane. He really gets it because he doesn't just start a Google Hangout and just give you a bunch of boring facts. I'll give him this. I'll give him this much. JD Kane at least understands that he needs to entertain his audience
right,
to keep his audience because if all he did was just blur out a bunch of scientific facts, he would have like 4 people watching him.
right. No,
So
yeah,
you
no, for
got to be
sure.
entertaining.
No, for sure. But he'll sit there, he'll have a show, right? And then he'll have. See, I think his show is too short now. I think his show should be. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get best bang for your buck, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, you know what I mean? Like if you watch a show, some of these guys invite me to hangouts and they go for 8 hours. I can't do that.
Right.
It's just too weird for me.
Right.
Like I don't like, and if I get into the hangout, I've missed. They're like, oh, we were talking about this or whatever, and I was like, were you talking about that 4 hours ago? Then I'll leave. I'll go, have a life, come back, and they're still going at it. You know,
I totally understand that.
and it's
I try to
it's weird for me. It's just
I try to
very
keep my
weird.
hangouts under 3 hours if I can.
Yeah,
Because first of all, ain't nobody gonna watch a hangout that long. If
yeah,
they
no
didn't
one's
catch
got
it live.
time.
So
No one's got time to do that. That's why I just think, like, when I do a show, I go an hour, 2 hours, absolutely the maximum, you know? But I cannot, because my attention, I just don't have the attention to sit there and watch people. I've got kids, I got bills to pay, I got stuff to do. I got a fish tank to clean, you know? I,
but I'll say this though: if it's a 3 hour hangout and it's a topic that I care about,
yes,
and they're exhausting it properly, and they're not wasting their time calling people names, I'll watch the whole thing
yes,
because
yes.
I want to learn. But if it's something where I'm going to be listening to a bunch of name calling, I can't tell you how many hangouts started off good, and then they start the name calling. I said, I'm not watching this no more, man, because I'm not learning nothing no more.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I know when they go completely sideways, it's either a train wreck or it's incredibly boring. But if it's a topic that I enjoy, then yes, I will totally be into it. But if it's just, how was your weekend? Good. What did you do? Oh my God. I don't care. I'm like, what am I watching here? This is like, my wife, I remember the other day was like, are you a loser? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you're watching a bunch of guys talk about the War of 1812. Well, like, what are you doing? And I just thought, she's right. Like, what am I doing? I mean, I got to go cut the lawn. You know,
Exactly.
It's weird, but you get suckered in where it's a great topic and then it'll fizzle out, and I just think, they lost it. Who do you enjoy talking to the most on when you do the Google Hangouts and stuff?
I like talking to anybody that's willing to talk about the topic. My favorite, okay, on my side, if I could talk to anybody who's immediately in my circles, it would probably be Veckel or somebody like that. But on the opposite side, wow, Lee Lemon, Christopher Mati, Shannon Rocky. I don't mind talking to those guys.
Right.
I don't mind talking to off the top of my head, okay, like Xbox Fiend and people like that.
Right.
But then there are other people. I got to be mentally prepared to talk to certain people because a lot of them, they just want to. I'm always thinking that they want to get under my skin to try to get me upset so that they can get noticed or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right,
when
right.
all I want to do is debate a particular issue. Because if I'm wrong, I'm going to change my view. It's just how I am. But if I'm not proven wrong, then I'm not going to change my mind about nothing. You know what I mean?
No, sure, of course. You know who's really nice that I enjoy is Veckel. He's a nice guy. He is. He's a nice guy. I've listened to him a few times. Seems like a very nice guy. I've never heard anybody really say anything bad about him. So I do enjoy him. I talked to one guy that thought the planet was flat. What was his name? Arcane. Yeah. He thought the planet was flat. Or the moon. I thought he was playing with me. Okay, I swear to you, I thought he was joking when he thought that the moon was painted on, like it's a glass, right? And I just thought these guys are playing with me, and I just thought I actually told Hogtie Champ, I just said I said this guy is just playing with me, right? And he goes, no, he really believes that, and I said no, that's impossible. And he said no, he really believes that. I didn't sleep for 3 days after that. Because I just kept thinking about that guy thinks the planet, because I kept thinking, I said to him, I go, so if you go out on a boat, do you hit glass? And it's just stuff like that. Like, do birds? That's the stuff that was bothering me, and I just thought, I thought he was playing. Gman, I swear to you, I thought he was playing with me, like he was playing a joke, right?
Yeah.
And to me, once I realized he wasn't, I just thought, oh no, like that kind of threw me off. So, do you ever meet anybody that completely thrown you off your game where you just thought, this is just too weird?
Oh yeah. A friend of Arcane's, his name is Johnny, and he came to me and he was giving me information about like the flat Earth theory, and he was saying that the Earth was flat. He was saying that the sun was going around the Earth. And as soon as I heard that, I stopped taking him seriously. I was like, what? And then I'm thinking, I'm trying to think about it like scientifically. I'm not even using the Bible. I'm thinking about it scientifically. And I'm like, okay, that's impossible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I totally understand how you feel, man.
You think...
I don't like talking about the flat Earth because I'll just die laughing talking about it.
Well, it worries me because I just sit there and go, like, I don't know if they're playing or they're being serious. I don't know if it's just something where, what's the word when somebody?
No, they're serious. They're very serious.
And that worries me because I just think, didn't you go to school? Didn't they teach you this? Like, I knew when I was a kid that the world was round. That's how they sell the globes. If you go to the store, they're round. They're not flat. So it just kind of, I don't know, weird. But who would you say was the best convo that you've had where you just thought, well, this is good. This is a good back and forth convo.
A good back and forth conversation? Wow. Somebody on the opposite side and not on my side?
Yeah, somebody on the opposite side where they brought up good points that you thought, all right, cool. It's a cool, like a good tennis match where you're going back and forth.
You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't even tell you. Let me go through my Skype here. Maybe I can remember who did it. Who did I have a good back and forth with? I think Jade makes a lot of good points. Jade's a Roman Catholic, and I don't really consider her to be a Christian, but
is she the one with the picture of a bird in her hair?
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
Believe it or not, I got a little respect for her because you can't debate her and talk to that woman unprepared, and she'll kick your butt. So, I mean, Jay's been making some interesting points. Like, for example, she says that human beings are fish and not a fish at the same time, and I've always messed with my head for a little bit. And then she forced me to go do some research. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would say Jay. And I hope I'm not insulting any other people out there that are on the other side, because I just can't think of no one right now off the top of my head. But,
no, yeah, she does know her stuff. She did a really good. She tried to get. I saw her do one where she had an interview with David Silverman, and the problem was, I liked it, but she had too many people on the show.
mm-hmm.
And once you have too many people on, you only get, it was like, just say there were 8 people or whatever. All they had was, 7 minutes apiece to talk. And I just thought, you're not going to get, a good conversation. That's why I like having just one-on-one, or usually it's me and Mark or another co-host, and I'm talking to a guest, because at least you could have a convo without...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you play board games?
No, I don't.
I play chess.
Yes, I play chess. I thought you meant like Monopoly. I play chess, yes.
Chess is a board game.
No, I know, but when I say board game and I say chess, my kids kind of go, "What?"
How long have you been playing?
I've been playing that forever.
Do you have a Pogo account?
No, I don't. I don't play. I don't play. I'm not big on video games or anything like that. I play.
No. It's a website where you can play like chess, checkers, Scrabble, and things like that.
See, that's just weird. That's weird. If I have to play somebody else, I just feel weird. I have to have the person in the room with me.
Oh, okay.
It just feels kind of very, very weird. If I'm playing chess, what I enjoy is it's kind of like an intimate kind of thing. It's between you and that player, and it's actually a very beautiful thing watching 2 people play chess, believe it or not.
It is. You learn a lot. Chess will teach you a lot. Teach you to be patient.
Yes, it teaches you strategy. It teaches you how to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Virtues that I need.
Anticipation.
Yes. It is the angle of attack. What attack they're using on you. And you could tell how long they've been playing just by the first 3 or 4 moves.
Oh, you better believe that.
So it's just I used to play my dad. I never beat my dad, and I think I think a couple of times I lost on purpose, just so he you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't. I didn't want to, but I tried so hard to beat my dad, and he was really, really good with chess. It's a beautiful game, and I try and show my son or my daughter, and they're just bored with it. And I'm like, don't you understand?
That's because of video games.
Yeah, and they're into, and to me, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I'm like, how do you not enjoy chess? And they're like, the horse goes like an L, and I'm like, that is... Don't you get that? The bishop goes across the board like this.
When I was growing up, I didn't have the luxury to have a video game right away. I think my first system was a ColecoVision, so I've been playing chess since I was 7.
Yeah.
And I learned how to play in a couple of days. I learned strategy in about 2 weeks because I picked up on that game very fast.
Yes. What the beauty of it? There used to be a show, believe it or not, when I was a kid on Canadian television, and I think they got it from the BBC. All it was a chess game. I'm not even joking. It was just, and they weren't even showing people. The things would just slowly move, and the whole show was a chess game. And I remember just being enamored, like just hypnotized, watching this, because they would say, queen moves, here, and rook takes queen. And you'd watch this as a kid, and that was before I even knew how to play. I would watch the show, and then I remember asking my dad, can we play chess? And he just thought, you want to play chess? And I still have the exact same chessboard that me and my dad still play with. I still have them all. I've had them for over 40 years.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm not, and my it's got nice dents on it and everything, because just life, it gets old, but I I love stuff like that. And I'll pull it out and I'll show the kids, and they don't appreciate it, which bugs me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They don't know what they're missing.
They really
It's
don't.
a phenomenal game. Will teach you a lot about life.
Yeah, like for me, I can't stand playing Monopoly. I hate it.
Monopoly's annoying, especially if you got to play house rules.
Yeah, I just to me, I don't like board games like that where they're like, you owe me $500, and I'm like, it feels like life to me, you know. I don't want that. I just want to. Yeah, I just when I'm playing a chess game, I feel like this game is so old that you ever get that where
Chess is a challenge. Monopoly isn't. Monopoly
yes.
is just by the luck of the draw.
But you know
You're
what?
rolling dice. It's not a whole lot of strategy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like It's
not like chess.
Like I don't gamble, and I don't get why people gamble. But it's poker. Just seems they say it's strategy, but I'm thinking, but what if you get crappy cards?
Exactly.
Like it doesn't matter if you get how can you win with crappy cards? Like you could bluff your way so many times, but after a while, if you get crappy cards, you're gonna lose.
Exactly.
So I don't like that. I don't like when like people are like, the gambling thing. I'm not into gambling at all. I just find that too. Have you ever gone to a casino?
To a casino, yeah, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Okay, well, whenever I go to
I've also been in Nevada.
Well, anytime I've gone to a casino, everybody looks miserable. Like they just, especially the ones that I've gone to are not the big casinos, but everybody's just concentrating on either like, have you ever seen people play slot machines?
Yeah, and they're sitting there beating the machine quarters all day.
Yeah, I don't get that.
One person to go there and put a quarter in there, win all the money.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get how you can do that. To me, that's just too weird for me. To sit there and then to feed this machine, and people look like robots, and I'm like, this is just too creepy. Whenever I would do shows in a casino, it was always like, we weren't allowed to gamble, but you could, and I'm glad because I would just be. I remember sticking a quarter in a machine or a token, and I lost, and I just thought, well, that's it, I'm done. I
don't like gambling either. I lost a lot gambling once. Like I said before, I played chess. I used to work in a bar when I used to rent a kitchen in a bar, and I used to bet the people who would buy drinks, play me in chess, and we would play $20 a game. You know what I mean? Playing chess.
Oh, okay.
And then I would win a lot of those. I've only lost one time, but most of those games I won. But then I was playing darts too, and I love darts. I absolutely love it. And I had one of those replica WWE World Heavyweight Championship belts.
Right.
The one from WCW. And I bet it in the dart game because I was pretty good at the dart games. Okay. And the guy I was playing, I was confident I could beat. And I played him in darts, and I lost. Oh. See, the funny thing is this: when I'm playing it without betting, I'll beat this guy all day long. The moment I bet, I lose everything.
That's what happens to me.
And I lost a $350 belt because of it.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah, I've done that, and that's exactly the way I am. I'm pretty good at darts, too, and I'm good at chess. But if we're playing for money, for some reason, and I guess that's how, when you watch games on TV and the guys are really, really good, I guess they know how to turn that around. But for me, failure. I just get nervous and tighten up, and I just don't think this, the same way, and it's just horrible. Like, it's just, you get angry that you're missing stuff that you shouldn't be getting. Yeah, I never like that.
Let me ask you a question. Who's your favorite theist on YouTube? And then I'll tell you who my favorite atheist is. Who's your favorite theist?
My favorite theist?
Yeah.
Probably,
on and off YouTube.
On and off.
If you can only talk about on, then you can do that.
For on YouTube, the only guy that I really see, I've seen a couple of them that I actually like Dinesh D'Souza. I think he's okay, and then the William Craig, he's okay. Those are the only guys that keep me interested to watch. I've seen other people where I can't get into it,
My my favorite atheist YouTube channel, I would say right now, is either the Drunken Peasants or Bionic Dance. And I'm only saying that because I don't know what it is about Bionic Dance, but the way she does her YouTube channel, it just keeps my interest for the entire video. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I agree with the things that she says, but the way she does the videos with like the planets behind her when she's talking and she's making her points and how she goes about articulating her points. Sometimes I wish I knew how to do that myself so I can do it. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know who she is. I'll look her up, but I do know the Drunken Peasants. I've seen their show. Yeah, you've been on
the
their
Drunken Peasants is,
you've been on their show a few times, right?
Yeah. They're one of my favorites because they're seriously, they know how to make a point and be entertaining about it. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm watching them, I know I'm not going to be falling asleep listening to how a cell is going to be split and all of the molecules that's inside of a cell. I don't care about that.
Well, he knows. Yeah, he knows. I think the Drunken Peasants, is it him and his brother that do it?
Yeah, it's the Amazing Atheist, Ben and Scott, and then it's Paul's Ego now. Oh, those guys are very entertaining to listen to.
Oh, they make don't they make a killing? Don't they make good money?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, because I heard he's got something like close to 1 million subscribers. And
he's got no. Amazing Atheist, not yet. I think he's got like about 800,000. I think right now.
I heard he makes like 90 grand like a year or a month or something crazy. Somebody
told 25. I think it's 25 grand a month or something like that.
Oh man, like what a dream.
Those guys are rich, I think.
Well, it's good. It's good, but he's constantly doing content. And I see the show that he's doing. I just think he got it at the right time. I think if you were on this 8-9 years ago doing what you're doing right now, you would have just as many subs, believe it or not. I really believe that. I just think everybody these days has a show. Everybody. And you're talking 8-9 years ago, it was hard to get a podcast going. It was hard to get these things going. But technology has made it that you could blow less than $1,500, get a podcast, pay $20 a month, and get your own show going. But here's the thing. There are so many shows out there that you have to be different. And what TJ...
And that's why everybody loves to hate Gman, because I'm very different.
Well, that's... Hey, why would I be talking to you? Well, I'd be talking to you because I only interview people that I'm interested in, right? And I think that's something that is great. I think if you can do that, where, people stop and go, I want to see what this guy has to say. I don't care if it's silly or I want to be entertained because there's nothing on TV.
Exactly. Oh God, I totally agree with you there. When I want to watch TV, I cut my computer on and I look for a hangout. Unfortunately, the only two hangouts that's usually on is either this is YouTuber by the name of Nadia, and her hangouts are usually like a little crazy. If it ain't Nadia, then this other guy named Steve has a Google Hangout, and I'm just hoping that more people will start doing Google Hangouts, so I got a bit of a more variety to watch.
Right.
Here on the internet.
No, I know. I go hunting too to go see what's who's out there and what can I watch. And yeah, but Nadia's is first time I saw Nadia, she was like in bed sleeping. And it threw me off. Like I just thought, why are people watching this? And she was literally sleeping and there were people talking like it was like me and you in a room, somebody falls asleep, but we're being taped. And it was just really weird. And I just thought, why are people watching? Everybody's raving about watching this. And I'm thinking, she's asleep,
But you want to know something, though? I got to give Nadia credit about something. Even though I really dislike the show. She's on to something right now. And if Nadia is smart and she does it right, Nadia can be bigger than a lot of these people in my circles right now, including myself, with that debate coliseum that she has. That was a good idea, whoever came up with that. Because it's like going to a circus or something like that and watching a bunch of people perform, and the only difference is these people are actually debating each other. You know what I mean? So that debate coliseum is a good concept that she has. I think Nadia needs to make a couple of changes. She can be entertaining, but she definitely needs to make some changes on there with some moderation.
So what? Like she has a show where, like she just has people come on and debate each other.
topic, and then she'll get like some of the craziest people on YouTube to go into the room, and then they'll just go back and forth with debating with little to no moderating going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people are interested in that. They want to see the chaos. They want to be entertained and whatnot. That's why I said she hit on a good idea with the debate coliseum. The problem is, in order to get the people in the room who disagrees with her, she has to do something where both sides are going to be happy and don't feel like they're being so disrespected that they don't want to come there no more. And that's Nadia's biggest problem right now.
I think
Nadia can make a killing if Nadia did it right.
If she did it like this, where I don't know if she could afford it, but if she put the winner of the debate, if you do it that it's like voting, where people can vote, who won the debate at the end of the week or after 3 days, whoever won the debate, just say JD Kane went up against Gman, right?
Right.
So you guys go at it, and then you keep the debate up for 3 days, and people get to vote all over the world, and people get to watch, because I know what I know that you'd be worried to go, well, then all atheists are going to watch that and vote on it. Well, you got to do it that it's fair, and hopefully, because it's hard. I remember going to competitions where a guy would bring his family, his relatives, his Uncle Louie, and it was all like in the audience would it wasn't necessarily who was the funniest, it was who brought the most people. And I always thought, nah, that's the worst. But if you can do it in a way that people are going to do a debate and there is some sort of moderation, because to me, I don't like it when there is no moderation, because it just becomes, to me, it's just, when it's too chaotic, I don't like it, because then it turns into a complete, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, and they lose topic. And to me, it becomes personal, you know?
Right.
And I don't like that. I just think that, you know, if I need to hear people disrespect each other like that, I could easily go to the club and deal with it there. I don't need to watch.
Turn Jerry Springer on.
Exactly. I don't need to. What's the point? You know, I see. I like it when people get snippy with each other, but not when they call each other flat out idiot or you're a jerk, or I don't. Believe it or not, that does nothing for me. Because at the end of the day, next time you talk to me, you know where I'm at.
Right.
And you're always going to remember that. You're going to say, this is the guy who called me an idiot. And that's
you want to know something funny, though? When I make my YouTube videos against atheism, or when I say things like, you know, atheists do this is not right, and it's hurting their community, you'll be one of the people that I'm talking to. The people that are doing it are swearing up and down I'm talking to them, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm talking to the people who's sick and tired of that type of debate.
Yeah, like to me, you know it was interesting for the first couple of months, but after that, you're
old,
you're kind of going, you know, it's like a one-trick pony. After a while, you're gonna go, I got to change up here. It's like doing the same bit over and over. If I did the same bit for you for 3 years, you'd go, dude, I enjoy your shows, but can you do different jokes?
Exactly.
And you kind of feel foolish. You go, oh no, now I got to figure stuff out. So,
that's why I had to alter my game on YouTube numerous times. I put on a wig and pretend I'm Bionic Dance. Sometimes I'll go outside and deal with people face to face. I'll do a rap.
I've seen a video where you've gone out. And I've seen the rap too, which is good. But I've also seen the where you've actually gone to a corner and preached. Like a street corner.
Yeah.
Does that make you nervous?
Oh, yes, all the time. People can't see it, but I'm nervous a lot. I have to warm up, get into it. You know, I mean, obviously, if prayer and all that stuff is involved, but, you know, even after that, I still got to warm up. I still got to, like get into it before I can really, get into it. Yeah. But when I get into it, it's hard to shut me up.
Oh, yeah. For sure, because, that would make me, in front of, it's different when, if you got people that come in and sit down in a theater or a club, it's different. But on a street corner, I would think it's 10 times harder, because you're getting complete strangers that just want to get to A to B, and you got to make them interesting, you know. You
Oh,
got to,
I do.
and that is no. I saw it. It was really really cool. I always thought that is a hard gig. That is something that I couldn't do that because I get it. Believe it or not, I get embarrassed like crazy. If somebody were to walk by and just say, "Yo, suck," or I would just, I think I would just bug me, you know, like it would just get to me. So, yeah, hats off. If you can do that, great. And I understand preparation. I too have to get prepared. People don't think you do, but I kind of do my own thing. I kind of, if you're at a club or whatever, you just kind of sit in the green room and stare off into space and kind of get yourself ready. And people are like, "Wow, you look like you were fine." And meanwhile, you're like, "No, no, my heart was going, you know, 600 miles an hour."
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I've been challenging Matt Dillahunty to a debate, but you wanna know what the scary thing is? If he actually accepts the debate offer, and I know I gotta stand next to this guy face to face live, I would be scared to death
Well, yeah,
if I
but
had
that
to do
that
that.
would
But
be
I would
awesome.
be so ready to debate him. It's not even funny. All
Oh,
at the same time.
I hope you do it. I really do. I hope you do it because that would be something I would love to watch. I really do. See, I've watched Matt Dillahunty debate a lot, and
Mhm.
he is somebody that is. I mean, he does it for a living, right? I mean, he
Yes,
he can debate with anybody, and
sure can.
I think anytime somebody comes along and gives you a bit of a challenge or can make you see what he does is he'll sit there and just say we're going at it. He could kind of change it up, and I understand what you're saying that sometimes when you're talking to somebody you have to change it up. you
Hmm.
know you know what they're trying to do,
Uh
and
huh.
you're trying your best to not you know fall into that yes no category.
Right.
And I see that, and I see that where, like, if I just sat there and said, G-Man, have you stopped beating up your wife, yes or no? That's tough, right? And you're like, hey man, I can't answer that. I'm like, and I'll just sit there and go, yeah, hey, see that, folks? He can't answer yes or no. It was a simple question, and the question had fault in it. You understand? the
Yes.
the question set you up for failure. So
Exactly.
I totally get that. But he does have a knack to he has the gift of gab, which I think that's over the years of him doing the
Politician. That's what he is.
well, him doing the atheist experience show weekly. Where, think about it, if you're um in a live audience and callers call in, to me I would be mortified, right? People calling in and asking you questions, and you just know that they could be calling from all over the world. They could easily just say something to get you off your game. You're open. You're totally open. You don't
Yeah,
know.
the atheist experience, those guys on that show are very good at making sure the burden of proof is never on them. I've studied and listened to these guys for a long time. That's why I keep saying, I think I'm the one guy on YouTube that can change Matt Dillahunty's mind. And
Well,
I'm saying that because I understand his strategy. Like we were talking about chess earlier. You know what I mean? Anticipating people's moves and what they're going to say and what they're going to do.
right.
I already got it in my mind that if me and him have a debate on, let's say, morality, I already know what he's going to say for his opening, what he's going to do for his Q&A, and what he's going to say for his closing. That's how much I pay attention to him.
Right. So what would you want to debate him in? Like, what would be something where you would challenge him that you would want to have a debate with him?
I'll tell you one thing, I'm not stupid. I would never debate him on logic and reason. That's for sure. I would never debate him on the precept because I don't know enough about it. But I
Right.
do know a lot about morality, and I do know a lot about biblical slavery. And those seem to be two topics he absolutely is passionate about. He believes that secular morality is superior to theistic morality or the Christian God's morality or whatever. So, and I know the reasons why he believes it. But at the same time, I know I can build uh, an argument, a series of questions, and a closing statement that's going to make him change his mind. He would have to, or he would be willfully ignorant, continuing believing in the things that he believes. And it's only because I've heard him talk about it enough times where I'm prepared for him.
Well, that's cool. You hear that, Matt Dillahunty? If you're out there, You should. I would pay to see that. I really would. I think it would be an enjoyable. I could see you guys going at it, and I think it would be. People would be surprised. I really do. I think you know how to talk to an audience, and I think if right or wrong, I still think it would be incredibly entertaining.
Can I say something? A lot of people on YouTube think I'm stalking a guy, and like I'm obsessed with him, and that's not the case. I know this interview is about trying to get to know me personally, but I just love me a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are they saying that you're stalking him?
Yeah, that's what they claim me.
No, you're not stalking him. So. That's ridiculous. You're not stalking him at all. You want to make your point, and and
I love a challenge.
Yeah, but that's not stalking. That you're not stalking him. That to me is people are just that to me is stupid. If it's something that they're just saying that just to get on your nerves, okay?
Right.
Just if you and I really think you're sincere in it, that you would really enjoy debating him. And if it's somebody that you want to debate and you constantly want to keep you're trying to get in contact to debate them, that's not stalking. That's I want to talk to you. Okay? So
exactly. I believe that you're wrong. I believe I have the answers to your concerns.
Right.
If you would debate me, I could change your mind.
Right. So that is not stalking. That's called I want to resolve this issue. That's what I get from it. I want to talk to you and let's resolve it. And if you could prove me wrong, prove me wrong.
Exactly. I mean, the best thing that could possibly happen is I'll drop my view of morality.
Sure.
And adopt his.
Sure.
The worst thing that can happen is that I won't change my mind, and I guess from his perspective, it's mine to change. You know what I mean?
Right.
He has this mindset where, well, you know what? It's probably not good for me to talk about this now because if I do, then the conversation that we're having is going to turn into something else. So.
Right. No, I get it. No, I get it. No, I totally get it. But no, I think it would be something that, because I've watched you, and I think you could throw somebody in for a loop sometimes. And that is good. I do enjoy that, where they sit there and you make a strong point. That to me is okay, cool.
Have you ever had a conversation with Jay before on a specific topic like vaccines or something like that?
She had me come out, and it was awful, because what happened was I'm not the smartest guy in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So she invited me to come out to a show, and she had a really, really smart group of people, and they were talking about, oh God, it was absolutely horrendous. They were talking about something that I didn't have a clue. I just sat there like a fool, just going, uh-huh. And the whole time I'm saying, please don't ask me anything, because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And I had to bow out and just say, Jade, thank you for inviting me, but I know nothing of this topic. Like, this is like, have you ever gone to a university? This is what happened. It felt like I went to a university, and it's actually happening where I've had to use the bathroom, and I walk by a class, the teacher waves at me, I walk into the class because I think that for some reason I thought there would be a bathroom in there, and it's about 200 students sitting there. And I end up just sitting down and sitting through a 2-hour lecture, because I'm too scared. And the whole time I got to go to the bathroom, Mm-hmm. And I'm just, because I don't want to get up and look like a fool, and I got to pretend I know what I'm, like I know what's going on, but I have no clue what's going on, and I hate that feeling. And I just said to her, I really appreciate you having me on here, but I'm not this guy for, like gene splicing or whatever, the cell, the human. I don't know that stuff. I know very little, okay? But when you get into details about, especially when they're citing other professors or other people that I've never even heard of, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you. I cannot. It's like me talking Chinese to you. You're like, dude, that's great. I have no idea what to say to you. So
I've been in a couple of those hangouts. I can tell you. I got a friend named True Empiricism on YouTube, and he gets into a lot of detail about like intelligent design. And sometimes I'm wondering, well, why did you invite me? I don't know nothing about what you guys are talking about.
I think it's because you're a good teammate. I think that's what I mean, truthfully, you can, uh, you know,
No, I know.
you're
I
good
know
at
what you're trying
helping
to say.
people that are on your side. I mean, if I and what that's what I notice. If Veckel, if somebody's being a little too abusive or kind of, starting something, you'll go right in there, and that's good. Like that is right or wrong. I always think there's always this hockey expression by Don Cherry, and I there was a hockey fight, and afterwards it was this thing called Coach's Corner, and what happened was he would explain what happened, and there was a fight, and the other player came in because the one guy started the fight, and his teammate went into the fight, and Don Cherry said he did the right thing. And Ron McNeil said, "Well, what do you mean he did the right thing?" And he said, "See, that's what a teammate is. Your teammate, right or wrong, even if your teammate is wrong, you have to fight for him, even if he's wrong. And then after you get him in the locker room and you explain, you put me in a bad position, don't ever do that again, because you're showing weakness. You're showing that team is gonna steam over you next time because they're gonna think we're wimps. That's why teammates stick up for each other even when they're wrong." And I remember him saying that, and I thought, he's right. I mean, I totally get that, and I think that's where people will sit there and say, G-Man could be wrong, he could be this, he could be that, but you know what? You'd want him as a teammate. You really would. I mean, he would fight for you, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
that is
yeah.
something that why people enjoy you or hate you, and I think that is a
You know what
great.
it
I,
is?
I think it's a great quality.
These people on YouTube love me and hate me for the exact same reason.
Right.
They for the exact same reason. Passion and speaking my mind. You know what I mean?
No, it's
Uh,
great. I totally love it. So, hey, yeah, real quick, do you have anything you want to plug? I know you have a YouTube channel. Can you please give me that the YouTube channel and anything you want to plug? Anything coming up?
yeah, sure. My channel, uh, uh, every Monday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, I do G-Man versus the Black Hebrew Israelites. I know people are getting tired of me constantly talking about atheism all the time, so I decided to do that. And it's really interesting. If you ever wanted to know what those guys on the street are preaching, check out G-Man versus the Black Hebrew Israelites. You'll finally see those people being confronted and being spoken to in a way that it shows them what they're doing outside is not necessarily right. I have another channel called Marked by God, similar to the one I got, similar to my main channel, but on that channel, I don't do a whole lot of debating, and I try to focus more on the Bible. Then I have another channel called GTV. Absolutely, positively, no religious talk whatsoever. I actually ban people when they come to the channel talking about God on there.
Right.
I do that just to be me and be myself. I'm on there being goofy, singing. I've been to the zoo, went to a swimming pool. If you want to know what I do in my free time, check out GTV.
Will do. Well, I want to appreciate. Thank you so much for the interview. I know it's been a while. I told you I've been having issues with the internet and crap. And I always say, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then we talk tomorrow. And how about the next day? All right. Then 3 days later, hey, I'll talk to you next day. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate you spending time and opening up and just talking. I really enjoy that. So thank you, G-Man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. I really enjoyed myself, and you was a very good host.
Oh, thank you. Folks, please check out G-Man. And yeah, comment in and say, hey, we want to see Matt Dillahunty take on G-Man on morality. We think that would be an enjoyable debate. So speak up. You
If
know,
nothing else, entertaining.
yeah, if anything else, hey, folks, I guarantee you it would be entertaining as hell.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you. So chime up. Let him know. Tell Dillahunty, say, take on G-Man. We'd love to see it. So, folks, You've been listening to the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast. I'm Vito D'Amico, and take care of yourselves, be good, and stay out of trouble.